something out that will look a little bit like a yoga block for your practice, even if your yoga block is actually a pillow or something with a little bit of firmness to it. Hi, Ian. And a stack of folded blankets could work great for this purpose. We're gonna just work with what we got. Any particular requests? You can point. All right, yeah, the bubble. Let's do nice. Oh, I'm loving all the creative boxes, blankets, vacuum cleaner toys, books. Yes, this is wonderful. Okay, so to start today's practice, we're actually going to start right away with movement and with some breath. And the breath work that I'd like you to do is a seated practice, unless your body says, no way, that's enough sitting for me, and you can do this standing up. But I'm gonna sit, and if you like a little lift underneath your hips, you can sit. Might be supportive to the pelvis to have your hips higher than your knees here. And it's gonna work this way. As you exhale, you're gonna do your stop in the name of love hands. You're gonna let the spine round a little bit to the space behind you, like cat pose. As you inhale, you're gonna draw sternum forward, flip your palms to the ceiling, and rock forward onto the sitting bones. And I'm gonna have this exhale be out through the mouth, so you might try that too. Exhaling out, inhaling forward, exhaling out, inhaling forward. And because of where I am in my day, I'm gonna make this be a little bit faster. A little bit of vigor is required here. And you don't have to, yours can be slower. Just to shake off some cobwebs, clear some dust bunnies out of the brain. We'll go 3 more. 2, 1. Exhale, and then inhale with fingers lacing up overhead. You can reach up through the pointer fingers, reach up through the side waists, reach up through the crown of the skull. And at the top of the inhale, please hold the breath. And when you're ready to release, we're going to do the pressure valve breath, like you're blowing out through a straw as the arms sweep wide and down. Really nice. Let's do another round. Three, 2, 1. Exhale, inhale, gathering the arms. There's a hold here at the top of the breath. Let the energy that you've been gathering and collecting rise up through the spine, rise up toward the crown of the head. And when you're ready to let the breath go, through a little straw, exhale the breath, sweep the arms wide. The tailbone descend, let the hips and the pelvis sit, nice and solid. And we're gonna do just one more round like that. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reaching up through side bodies, reaching up through fingertips, reaching up through tips of the ears. Pausing at the top of the breath here for a brief retention. You could nestle your chin toward your chest just an inch. And when you're ready to release the breath, arms sweep wide and down. Breath out through the mouth like a straw. Set your hands in your lap, and if you'd like, close your eyes. And take a moment just to notice that you are here. What's moving through? Whether there's physical sensation that's associated with the movement practice or the breath practice you just did. Whether there's an accumulation of emotions or brain workings from your day that's present now. Take another moment here to recognize whatever structures, decisions you have made, people and things in your life that are supporting you, and taking this time to have your yoga practice. I'm so glad that you're here. Take an inhale through your nose, and a big sigh out through your mouth. Good. Let's take the arms out and wide. And we'll do a temple dancer here. So as you look to your right, spinning your right palm to the ceiling, left palm to the floor. As you look to your left, the left palm rolls open, the right palm rolls down. And take this at your own pace, with a bend in the elbows if you like, with an eye toward releasing tension from the face, the shoulders, the sides of the neck. So you might want to close your eyes. You might want to let the shoulders be a little dancy or loose about it. You feel the rib cage have a little gentle sway. It's rolling through the shoulder girdle, rolling across that myofascial network through arms, down fingers, up the sides of the neck. Come back to center. And as you exhale, gather yourself in. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Let's exhale to crescent to the right. And inhale through center. And exhale, crescent through the left. So we'll keep going this way. Just a little play to open practice through these essential spinal movements. We went forward and back. We're going side to side. And we're also going to come back into center here now with the hands on the knees and go in a big circle. And as you circle, you're connecting through the parts of the body that right now are touching the earth, hips, legs, pelvis, sitting bones, to those parts of the body that are like and even mimicking the elements of earth. So where we are grounded, where we are stable, where we are solid, where we have roots and foundations to support our practice, support our relationships. And we get to stir up one more big circle and come back into center. Bring your hands to your heart. And I'm going to borrow a little smidgen here from Khalil Gibran, the poet, who it turns out was writing just for COVID-19 and didn't even know it at the time, I think. So I've been reading the poem that was written on marriage. And there's a line in this poem which says, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness." So interpret this the way that you like. The way that it's been sustaining me this week is I like to think that everything needs to be together. We have to have all the emails written. We have to be taking care of the body just so. The camera lens has to be angled. There should be no drying rack or errant pillows or scattered sneakers in the life. And actually, I'm going to let there be spaces in the togetherness. So things are together enough in the sense that here we have dedicated space and time for practice. but space is also for life to happen as it happens. You get to, as I said, interpret that the way that it means something for you today. So taking a big inhale and sweeping the arms wide with the palms to the sky, like you're receiving the way those words could drop in to nourish you today, and exhale, bringing your hands back into the heart. A gesture of receptivity. Let's do just that twice more. Inhaling out into the spaces. Exhaling to your togetherness, noticing the elegance, the willingness of your breath, your body, and your mind here to coordinate. Even if just for this one brief moment in your day, exhale, the hands can come back to your heart. And rock right up and over your shins and onto all fours. Go ahead and take yourself for a little spinal party playtime through a cat, a cow, maybe a circle in the spine. Maybe it rocks all the way back to a child's pose. Let it be an organic exploration. And I'll invite you to notice the spaces in your togetherness as you explore these movements in your spine. And you might notice, for example, to find spaces in your togetherness, the spaces in between your individual ribs, the movement of the space between rib bones. You might notice spaces between the bones of the pelvis and the bones of the ribs, how they expand or contract, get nearer to each other, or have more distance between each other. You might offer this observation through the lens of curiosity to your breath. So might there be spaces in the cycle of breath? A brief pause at top of your inhale, a sweet silent space at the bottom of your exhale. Good. And when you're ready to sink back to child's pose, gather the big toes, widen the knees, bring your hips towards your heels. And we're gonna stay nice and lifted and anchored down into fingertips. Arm bones are rising up away from the floor. You might feel like you're hugging the muscles of your arms to their bones, and then walk yourself to the right side and drape your chest over your right thigh. Take an inhale all the way back to your left outer hip. And take an exhale breath into the space that is here. We'll walk to center together on inhale and exhale over to the left. We got a breath here, dropping into the space. Softening through the muscles of the face as much as is possible for now. And then inhale back to center. And an exhale to table pose on all fours. And let's ask the psoas muscle to wake up for us, especially if you've been sitting today. This might be a whole lot of fun. You're going to inhale your right leg back behind you with the toes pointing down. Check under the belly, see if you can wiggle your toes at yourself. And then as you next exhale, we're going to keep the spine neutral here and glide the right leg out to the right, toes still looking down toward the floor. And inhale, sweep the right leg into line with the hip. And we'll do that twice more together, exhaling right leg out to the right. Toes look at the floor. Inhale, sweep back. Last one. The ridge of your hands, the place where your palm becomes fingers, is where you can anchor down here for stability. Good. Inhale, right leg sweeps back. And now as we exhale, we're going to bring the right knee centered underneath the body. So right into the chest. See if you can do that without rounding the back, but keeping the curves in your spine neutral. Yeah. Inhale, sweeping it straight back in line with your hip. Same thing with a neutral spine. This time, right knee comes to the right elbow. Maybe just outside the right elbow, and inhale glides back. Last one in this sequence, right knee crosses to the left elbow, and the spine stays in those neutral curves as best you can, lifting up out of the ridges of your hands. Inhale, reach back. Tuck your left toes underneath you, and we're going to use the strength of both legs to reach up to three-legged dog here. Right heel is lifted. Exhale, go ahead and open to stack your right hip over your left hip. Inhale to level. And as you exhale, gently setting the right knee halfway down or rather on the floor, but halfway to your wrists. So it's like the right knee lands in your table pose. Then we're going to kickstand the right toes out, roll to the edge of the left foot, and sweep the left arm up. And you've got your side plank, one knee down. How did it go? Beautiful transition. Let's take a big circle with the arm that's in the sky. And see if you can invite just a little bit of a cat back sense here in the upper body, the ribs like a parachute, the front of the rib basket nestling down towards your navel. Lovely. And now as you exhale, spinning that left arm all the way back down to the floor, turning so that your pelvis and your eyes look back down to the floor. You're in your little half of a table pose, and we're going to root into the left toes in both hands and zip the right knee all the way up into the right armpit. And then we're going to step it between the hands. So a little strength is required. Good. Inhaling to a twist, the right arm reaches up. And exhale, the right arm floats down. And the breath deepens. And we'll have another inhale, reach up through the right arm. Cinch the right outer hip back toward the left heel. And exhale, slow release. Good. Contact point under the ball of the right big toe as you go one more time to your twist. Pause here with the right arm lifted. Lift lighter onto your left fingertips. And as you exhale, we're going to rise into a revolved lunge. So both arms sweep wide as your wings. Yeah, you breathe into your wobbles. You invite the tailbone to descend, even if that means a little bend in your back knee, no problem. We're going to center to the front of the mat. So on your inhale, scoop your right arm down, forward, and both arms up. Beautiful. Exhale to cactus, the elbows wide. Lay the heart back. Inhale, take the gaze and the fingers to the sky. And exhale, touch down, framing your right foot on the floor. Please step back, down dog on your inhale. And then exhale, let there be space between the top of the thighs and the front of the pelvis. Good. Inhaling to down dog. Exhale, let there be space between your ears and your upper arm bones. One more inhale in the down dog shape. Exhale, roll forward, plank pose. And we'll be in this exhale breath as we lower all the way to the belly. And then inhale to a full pranam. So you're going to slide the arms in front of you. Rest your forehead down on the floor. Make an offering. Wiggle the hips side to side if they'd like to go. Take a moment to feel the spaces between the body and the earth. So you know you're connected. You have anchor points. How wonderful to be able to lie on the floor and also to feel where there are spaces in your togetherness. You're gonna, when you're ready, slide your hands in to frame your shoulders and roll up into cobra pose. And exhale to come down a little bit longer than you were before. Let's do that once more, inhaling, neither striving nor avoiding any particular outcome. And exhale all the way back down. And on your inhale, pressing through fours and exhaling to down dog. Good. Pick up your heels in your down dog pose. And as you exhale, sit your heels to the right, swivel your knees to the left, press the hips back toward the right corner of your mat like you're sitting off to the side in a chair. Yep, inhale and swivel the pelvis back to center, reach the heels high. Exhale, heels go left, knees go right. Press into that left hand, send the hips to the back corner. Inhale through center. Exhale, touching your knees down, and we come back to table pose. And the whole thing on the second side. So rest the wrists, wiggle if you need a wiggle. When you're ready, left leg goes straight out behind the body. And as you exhale, left leg sweeps wide to the left side of your mat. check in here. You could pause just for a moment and re-anchor into your right hand. Good, and then inhale, sweeping the leg back in line with your hip. Your spine extends. Exhale, we'll take the same leg wide. Toes still look down to the floor. And inhale back. Good, breathing into the fullness of the back body here as you carry the leg left one more time. And inhale, sweep it back. Maintaining the neutral curves of the spine, curl the left knee to the chest. See how that feels at the top of the hip. Inhale, slide it back. Exhale, we're bringing left knee to left elbow. Maybe it's tapping just outside. And inhale, slide it back. And for this last breath, exhaling left knee across toward your right elbow. Maintaining the topography of your low back as best you can. Inhale, slide the left back. Tuck the right toes. And lift up, three-legged dog. Left heel is high. On the exhale, open, stack your hips. Reach into the ridges of your fingers. That place where the palm becomes the root of the fingers is your anchor. Inhale, level the hips. And exhale, we're going to gradually bring the left foot all the way forward. Well, actually halfway forward and set it down. And you'll step your right toes to the back of the mat. Kickstand out with the left foot. And sweep the right arm up. And you've got your supported side plank here. Explore the space that you have with the left arm overhead. Maybe some circles. Maybe a different shape. And sometimes as you practice your yoga and you start to release structures that are held in the physical body and that myofascial network, we also have the possibility here of releasing thought structures that are held in place by physical habits, or even thought structures that are held in place by like the wedge on one side of grasping and on the other side of aversion. We get to breathe into an outcome that is as yet undecided. That's just space for now. Beautiful. On your next exhale, you'll bring your top arm all the way back down to the floor. Yeah, and we're going to take the leg that is forward, press into the back toes in both hands, and hug that knee right up into the armpit. So you're in your plank with one leg hovering, and then you're going to step that same lifted foot between two hands. And on an inhale, let's rise to crescent lunge pose. Finding your bearings here, exhaling the elbows wide. The heart lifts. And come back up through fingertips. Take your gaze up, your back leg buoyant, and exhale, touching down. Hands frame the foot. Let's step back to down dog on the inhale. And on an exhale breath, roll forward to plank pose. Bottom of the exhale will carry you all the way to the belly. And inhale right up into your cobra pose. And exhale to lower into the full pranam. You can offering the arms to the front of the mat, the forehead to the floor. Letting the body settle into the space. Letting this be a practice of non-urgency. Take one more breath. On the exhale, sliding your hands to frame your shoulders. And let's rise to cobra pose together here. As we rise through shoulders and the back of the heart, the back of the neck long, we're going to lift the right heel in toward the right sitting bone. So like you're trying to kick your own right glute. Good. And then as you exhale, roll onto your left hip and step that right foot behind you off the mat. You can slide your right palm out in front of you like you're holding a tray here with your offering. And we're going to arc the hips up to find wild thing pose. So rooting down into the right foot and scooping that right arm up, lift the hips and the pelvis. And exhale here, looping the shoulders onto the back. And get another breath. And on your exhale, slowly releasing the hips down, bring your tray down. We're gonna dive right back to the floor in cobra pose. So exhaling to swivel back to the belly and inhaling to cobra. Bring your left toes in towards your left sitting bone. And exhale, we'll roll over onto the right hip. Sweep your left palm up to the sky. Let's go second side. Inhale, hips lift. Left arm arcs overhead. Exhale, breath might be an invitation to soften where you can. Inhale, rooting into the mound of the left big toe. Exhale, hips come down. Left arm arcs back down, and you'll roll to the belly on an exhale. Cobra pose on an inhale. Exhale, full pranam. Make the offering of what's here and now. Forehead to the floor, palms in front of the body. We get to use some of our yogic qualities, or the 5 core attitudes of yoga. And the first one of those is called Shraddha, which means faith you are going in the right direction, which also means faith that the medicine of yoga can infuse your life. And all that you have to do right now is to be in the space that's here, breathe, and you're already experiencing Shraddha. You've already put that into practice by being willing and dedicated. And come back up on an inhale, and we're going to bring the right heel in toward the sitting bone in cobra pose again. So you've been here before. Exhale, rolling over the left hip, raising your tray. Let's inhale to wild thing. Exhale, stay, looping the shoulders onto the back, laying your head back. As you exhale, bringing the hips slowly down. That takes some control, some stability. We're going to roll back to the belly on the exhale. We're going to inhale, press to fours, and exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, left leg up and back, please. 3-legged dog. And as you exhale, step the left foot all the way between your hands. Inhale, left arm opens up to the sky for a twist. And exhale, slowly lower that left arm all the way down. Let this too be your practice of non-urgency. Do that one more time. Inhaling, left arm up. Back of the right leg is buoyant. Exhale. Coordination of your breath, your movement, your attention. One more inhale, reach through the left arm. And then as you exhale, get a little lighter in your right fingers. We're going to come all the way up to find that revolved lunge. Wiggles and all. Great. Inhale, bringing the back arm down. Forward. Inhale, bringing both arms up. Exhale, cactus the elbows wide. Set your heart on the ceiling. Inhale, reach high. And exhale, touch down. And this time we're going to step forward on the in-breath, coming halfway up with a long spine to Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, a deep bow. Good. Into these strong legs, root down to rise all the way up. And exhale, the hands to the heart. And pause for a breath. And just as you noticed as you sat before, in recognition of those structures, those decisions, those people in your life that are supporting you in being here now, just taking stock for a minute to see what you feel still moving through, where you feel space, and to acknowledge yourself for some willingness and some dedication to be here. And you have a whole life going on. You could have chosen to be somewhere else right now, and you're here. Let the body feel that, your sense of commitment. that loving offering you have made. And then when you're ready, release your hands and open your eyes. We're going to step a little bit wider than the mat, or maybe just about to the edges of your mat. And we're gonna de-dog hair the pants. This is a move for everyone. And then we're gonna do a dancing tree pose practice. So this starts by noticing that the outer edges of the feet right now are parallel to the short edges of your mat. And this is what's gonna make this kind of fun and interesting for the hips and the psoas muscle. So you can take just a little teensy bend in both of your knees, let things get looser and softer and maybe sillier because it is Friday night. And then we're gonna put more weight into the right foot. And we're gonna pick up the left foot and float toward tree pose without actually touching the left foot to the trunk of the tree. Arms sweep up. And then as we exhale and step back down, we're gonna thoughtfully plant this left foot, toe, ball, and heel, and both feet are coming parallel again as I bend my knees. Good, now we're gonna shift over to the left foot, bring the right foot in and up with the arms, and it's just hovering, not quite touching. As we exhale, really intentionally setting down through toe, ball, and heel with both feet parallel and both legs bent. Beautiful, let's do this again to the right. It's almost more like the practice of Tai Chi here, in the sense that you're moving maybe a little bit slower than you want to go. In the sense that you're moving in a dance with air, with space, with gravity, with your breath. And the air can even have a viscous quality, like you're moving through honey. Go ahead and finish up one more. And setting yourself exquisitely down onto that right foot. Go ahead and take this bend a little bit deeper with the knees. Bring the hips back. Good. And then we're going to bring the arms in, elbows toward the side of the body. Lift the sternum, and we're going to recycle the breathing practice from the very beginning of class. So as you exhale, palms forward, breath out the mouth. As you inhale, elbows in, chest lifts. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten the legs, gather the arms, root down into the big toes and up through the crown of the head. Brief pause here at the top of the breath, and as you're ready to exhale, releasing arms wide, breath out through the mouth. And arms rest by your side. Really nice. Take a breath, let that settle. Let some digestion happen. Your nervous system, your body registering what you're offering. And then heel toe your feet together. And step up to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms are going wide, out and up. Exhale, take a deep bow to your legs. Inhale, rising halfway, the long spine. Exhale, stepping back to downward facing dog. Inhale, breath here to create space between the fronts of the femur bones and the pelvis. Exhale to find space between the upper arms and the ears. Good. Inhale to find space between the ribs. Exhale to roll forward for plank pose. And at the bottom of the exhale breath, descend with the backs of your knees nice and buoyant. We're going to inhale to your cobra pose and take the left foot in toward the sitting bone. As you exhale, roll to your right hip, plant the left foot, hold your left palm up like an offering. Inhale, taking the hips skyward, laying the head back. Exhale right here, the shoulders melt down. One more inhale breath, wild thing. And as you exhale, a slow descent, the pelvis, the breath, the left arm, your gaze. Take a moment to really see what you can see here, what your eyes are taking in. And as you exhale, rolling back to the belly. Let's inhale through all fours and exhale to downward dog. Beautiful. Inhale, right leg goes up and back. And exhale, it steps all the way through. Inhale is a twist, right arm reaching to the sky, right outer hip reaching back towards your left toes. Exhale, release that right arm down. Can you invite a little bit of a cat back, a parachute into the upper body? Let's do that once more. Inhaling, right arm up. Left leg long, exhale, release. Good. The inside edge of the right foot will be your anchor here as you reach up. One more time. Exhale, lighten on the left fingers. Roll the chest over the pelvis. You've got your revolved twist standing. On the exhale, right arm drops down. On the inhale, it rises forward and both arms come up. Exhale, cactus arms. Lay the head back. Inhale. You're reaching up, and exhale to come all the way down. Downward facing dog. Inhale is a step back. Good. Exhale, bring the knees to the floor and the hips to the heels. Take child's pose. And in this child's pose, you can sweep your arms back in space, put the backs of your hands on the floor, curl your fingers into the palms of your hands and curl your knuckles toward the ceiling. So stretching out through the tops of the arms and the wrists and the fingers. And all of us here have an opportunity, the space that you're creating, overflowing from your own practice outward toward each other. So we get a little bit of new breath, a little bit of fresh possibility. If we've been stuck on that pendulum that swings between craving and aversion, maybe this space feels like you have just a little bit more room to breathe, or a glimpse of something you haven't seen for a while. When you feel ready, you can rise back up onto all fours. Let's take a twist here from table pose. Inhaling, the right arm sweeps out beside you like a wing, and you can follow it with your fingers. And as you exhale, thread the needle, bring the back of the right arm down and across, your right ear toward the earth, your right shoulder toward the earth. And as you come into this twist, if you like to take a little walk with your left hand out in space, take that adventure. So we've been remembering the lines from this Khalil Gibran poem, which also include these words: love one another, but make not a bond of your love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. It's a COVID poem. A moving sea between the shores of your souls. So what's moving through here in your twist? What's ready to soften its grip? You can come back down to the support of your grounded fingers, and on an inhale, unwind the right arm. Follow those fingers with your gaze so your eyes get something brand new. And exhale, set your right palm back down on the floor. We'll go right to the second side, inhaling left arm out and up, and exhaling to cross and lower. And let this be a practice where you look through the lens of curiosity, practice of non-urgency. Might there be something here that wants to have space? Might there be something here that is ready to be released from a thought structure? You have the time to examine, is that thought true? Is it necessary? Is there something that you could breathe downstream? Making space for exactly what's here. Really lovely. Last breath, imagining the overflow of your kindness, your inquisitiveness, your willingness is spilling out to your neighbors in their practice. Releasing the adventuring hand back to earth, and on your inhale, unwinding through the left arm, the left side of the body, and exhaling both hands down to find the floor. But let's take one more downward facing dog pose. Might be that this is a familiar place to breathe and rest. Might be that there's some new space to find here. The space between the shoulder blades, the space between the inner thigh bones and the inner heels, the space between your thoughts, or the pause at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. Really lovely. And on your next inhale breath, please roll forward to plank pose. And on your exhale breath, you'll stay in plank pose and you'll imagine two little threads from the backs of the knees, the knee pits, going straight up to the ceiling. So the legs are really awake here and quite vigorous. And then at the bottom of the exhale, lower all the way onto the belly. Nice job. And we'll inhale to cobra, bringing the right toes toward the right sitting bone, a familiar place now. Exhale, rolling onto the left hip. Planting the right foot. Here's your offering in your right palm. Inhale to scoop it up and back. Exhale, you could lay your head right into the palm of your right hand if you wanted to set the head down into your own embrace. Inhale, reaching the right arm back. And exhale, slowly lowering. And now we have an option. We've come back to earth with the pelvis, and we could either dive back down onto the floor and rise up to cobra, or we could flip onto the left hand, left foot, and stack the right foot into side plank, Vashisthasana. So let you take the option here that feels nourishing, that feels spacious. Really nice. And wherever you landed, we're all going to meet, rolling to plank pose, and then setting the left knee down in the middle of the mat. And we'll pivot the left toes back and out, slide up into your supported side plank, right arm over the ear, right toes to the back of the mat. And this time float the foot that's toward the back of your mat. So you've got a hovering arm, a hovering leg. And as you exhale, could you draw the knee and the elbow together in the front of the body? And inhale, reach them away. Just like that. We'll do that twice more. And the head has an invitation to float right in between your two shoulders like it weighs nothing. Beautiful. You can glide your ears back on the neck. And at the next exhale breath, if you wanted to circle the top arm, bend the right knee, and maybe find a little point of contact between the fingers and the right foot and squeeze that heel in toward the sitting bone. Lengthen the right thigh from hip to kneecap. Beautifully done. Inhale, releasing. Long leg to the floor, arm up and overhead. And exhale, we're going to circle the right arm down so the pelvis turns to look at the mat. We've got the left toes here in the middle of the mat. Tuck them underneath you. And as you inhale, reach the right leg up, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring the right foot between your two hands. Inhale, the right arm rises for your twist, and now we're going to go right up into the lunge. So exhale, lifting left fingers from the floor, revolved lunge. Inhale to take your bearings, to sweep the heart wings wide. Exhale, releasing the right arm down, bringing it forward, and inhaling both arms up. And as you exhale this time, let's open out warrior two. So the left heel grounds, and the arms parallel to the earth. Inhale here, spin your palms to the ceiling, soften your shoulders, soften your expectations. Exhale, we'll come to forearm to thigh pose, right elbow to the right thigh bone, left arm over the ear. And inhale, we'll come back to reverse warrior. One more time, exhaling, forearm to the thigh. Inhaling to reverse warrior. I want the psoas to be strengthening as well as lengthening. So this time as you come forearm to thigh pose, give the left glutes just a little bit of contraction. So you could feel as though that left leg, oh, and somebody's making noise on my phone that I don't know how to stop. Sorry, friends. Wow, it's really persistent. Okay. You're contracting your left glutes. I think we were talking about glutes when we got distracted. And then you can plug into your left pinky toe. Yeah, those look beautiful. Inhale, rise back to your warrior two. And as you exhale, slowly release both arms down. Press the right leg straight. Spin all 10 toes in the same direction and take a deep bow here over your legs. And could there be space between the top of the thigh bones and the front of the pelvis? Maybe you bend your knees. Maybe you shake your head no or nod your head yes. Maybe there's exploration of movement here. Knees bent, knees straight, one of each. Arms soft and sweeping across the floor. There isn't a right or a wrong way to do this. It is a practice of non-urgency. Good, slowly coming back into center. Float your hands onto your hips, extend your spine halfway. And as you exhale, press down to rise up. Nicely done. Heel toe your feet underneath your pelvis. Let's check in with the body, releasing hands by your sides. What wants to be listened to? When you feel ready, eyes are open. Toes step up to the front of your mat. Inhaling, arms go out and up. And exhaling, deep bow over your legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping back to down dog. Inhale, roll forward to cobra. Keep the backs of your knees lifted as you lower on an exhale breath all the way to the belly. Inhale to cobra, left heel to the left sitting bone. This is our last time through. Exhale, rolling to the right hip. Your platter here, your offering in the left palm. Inhale, arc it up. Exhale, lay it back. Head can rest in the palm of the left hand. Loop the right shoulder to the back. Inhale, reach left arm long. And exhale, option to lower, 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 lower down. And then dive back to the mat for cobra pose, or to step up to Vashisthasana, side plank here on the right arm. So where is there space and breath to support where you are right now? Then everyone is going to level out into plank with the pelvis facing the floor and set the right knee in the middle of the mat. Kickstand the right toes back, sweep the left arm up and overhead, and this time float the left foot off the floor. Take your inhale breath, invite your head to hover right between the shoulders, and exhale, knee and elbow together in front of the body, back round like cat pose. Inhale, extend and press away. Good, twice more. Nothing here to either strive for, or to resist, or to avoid. Breathing into the space that there is on this inhale, exhale. Maybe you take that left arm, circle it back, bend your left knee, hug your heel toward your sitting bone. Whether or not you catch the foot, a contraction for the quadriceps, a nice hug across the front of the left thigh. Inhale to release without slingshotting the leg. And exhale, let's turn down, Pelvis looks to the floor. We're going to tuck the right toes and inhale, left heel up and back to three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot forward. It lands between your two hands. Give your heart and your eyes a moment to arrive here in your low lunge. Really nice. Inhale, left arm lifts. You're in a twist. Exhale, the legs are strong as you root to rise. Your twist grows. Take an inhale breath to find your bearings. And exhale, left arm can sweep down. Then forward. And inhale, both arms up. There's a little pivot that happens in the back foot. Beautiful. Exhale, the arms go wide, cactus, the elbows, lay the heart on the ceiling. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release your arms down. And let's come into the warrior two pose here without the hands. So you're going to ground your back heel. Let your pelvis and your chest realign more toward the long edge of your mat than the short edge of your mat. These look beautiful. Now, if you're comfortable, you could close your eyes and sweep your arms out to find your warrior two shape. And take a minute just to find the spaces in the body now between the knuckles on your fingers and the bones of the pelvis, between the right pinky toe and the left earlobe, just tracing some of the landscape, some of this inner topography of the body. Nothing to strive toward, nothing to be averse to, neither clinging nor resisting. See if you can reach back just a smidge more with your right fingers to stack shoulders over hips. Glide your head back. Yeah, really nice. Now let's take forearm to the thigh, right arm over the right ear. Beautiful. And inhale to reverse your warrior. Let the left fingers glide down the back thigh and the left arm reach skyward. We'll do that twice more. Letting the thoughts rest in those spaces in the breath cycle. So we're not trying to make the thoughts go away, but maybe the spaces in between the thoughts become more expansive. Let there be space in your togetherness. Next time you're in forearm to thigh pose, pause. Activate the right glutes, wake up the right pinky toe. Sense that you're awake through both legs all the way up to the hip sockets. Really nicely done. One more breath in. And exhale, leveling back to your warrior two. Inhale, we'll press the left leg straight, pivot the left toes forward, all 10 toes now in the same direction. And as you exhale, take a last deep bow here. In gratitude for your breath, for your legs, for gravity, which helps you here to release the spine. And if it feels good in this forward fold, you could deeply bend your knees. Walk your hands backward towards your heels. And draw the chest back toward the fingertips. Chin even could curl in toward the chest, so it feels a little bit more like a cat back shape. There's some flexion in the spine, a deep crease at the hips, the weight to the heels. Good, releasing that, walking forward, rising halfway up, the hands onto the pelvis. And as you exhale into your footprints, press down to stand up. Chin can stay towards your chest, especially if you get lightheaded, rising up out of forward folds. Good, shake the hands. Heel toe the feet underneath your hips. And take a big breath in, sweeping the arms out and up. And exhale, bathing yourself in that breath, slide the hands right down into the heart. Do just that one more time. Inhale, arms out and up. Like it's all you need. Exhale, the hands come right down, cross the forehead, and rest at the heart. And see what's moving through. Letting there be space in your togetherness. And we'll release hands. You can come down onto the floor in whatever way works in your body and in your space. And if you've got that prop, block, or bolster, or firm folded blanket, We're gonna go to bridge pose with the sacrum supported. So let's close that chain. We lengthened psoas, we strengthened psoas. Let's check in with that muscle, which you probably know this already, but it's spelled P-S-O-A-S. And it's really two muscles, the psoas and the iliacus. One's more on the front of the body and one's more on the back of the body. And together they help us draw our knees up in toward our chest and do really minor things like walking in our lives, kind of a big deal. But I heard somebody recently say the acronym for psoas, P-S-O-A-S, physical source of all stress. And I laughed at that one because it's definitely not true, but it's like a nerdy yoga joke, and so I laughed. So we're gonna release the psoas here on the back body. You've got your hips on your blanket, bolster, block, book. It shouldn't feel like there's something digging uncomfortably into your spine. Put the block or book or bolster where it's most comfortable. Widen your feet as wide as your mat and let your knees drape in toward each other. Widen your arms out like wings beside you on the floor. And we'll breathe this infusion here. A sense of space under the hips, the backs of the legs, a sense of rootedness, connection in the back of the heart, the shoulder blades, the back of the head. And then sweetly heel toeing your feet right back underneath your knees. And take your right leg up to the ceiling and make a big circle with the right ankle. And go once in each direction. And then check in with the low back here as you come to stillness in the right foot. We're going to trace a line like we have a crayon on the right foot, lowering this right leg all the way down toward the floor. But could you keep your tailbone reaching towards your heels? Could you avoid arcing the low back? And keep the sacrum resting really solidly on your support. Breathing down to lower. Inhaling and reaching the right leg back up. And if that felt all fine and good in the low back, maybe the next time you do it with the left leg extended. Exhaling, the right leg lowers. Go nice and slow as a practice of non-urgency. Inhale, the right leg climbs back up. And on this last exhale breath, we'll bring the right leg long. And it either will hang out here in space, or if it's able to, the heel comes all the way onto the floor. And then we're gonna let the right big toe melt in toward the left big toe. So you're internally rolling that right thigh bone toward the left. And sweep your right arm straight back behind you. Press into your right heel, root your tailbone toward the heels. And full breath in. And big sigh out. And then slide your right arm back beside you like a wing. And step your feet back in underneath the knees. Let's take a breath here side to side to feel right leg and left leg, right hip and left hip. When you're ready, left leg comes up to the sky and we'll make a big circle with the ankle, spread out the toes. Squeeze the toes in, spread the toes out, play a little bit. When you're ready, an inhale to lengthen the tailbone toward the heels, and an exhale to lower the left leg toward the earth. Inhale brings the left leg back up. Can the shoulders continually melt to the floor as you practice movement in the left leg? Maybe the right leg extends. You do this with two long legs, checking in with the low back, really keeping the low back in solid contact with your surface. Really nice. On the last exhale, lowering the left leg as far as it would like to go. And when it reaches that place near to the floor or on the floor, you'll roll the left big toe in toward the right big toe. Let the whole left leg spiral in from the hip bone all the way down to the ankle bone. Re-engage tailbone to heels. Slide your left arm straight back behind you. Breathe in through both nostrils. Big sigh out through the mouth. One more time. And sliding the left arm back in the space beside you. Step your feet in under your knees. Check in. When you're ready, press into the feet and lift the hips up off your support and slide it out. And I'd love for you to take this moment here before your Shavasana. Nice. You're already there. Inquiring of your body, how might you like to move? Is there a way you would like to be wiggled, breathed, nourished, explored? We're letting there be a moving sea between the shores of our souls, willing to take time enough to notice what's here. Take time enough to acknowledge what you've already given in this practice, your willingness, your curiosity, and your dedication. The overflow of tenderness that moves from your own small practice out into this much broader landscape where those on the path with you can feel some of that sense of Shraddha, the faith that we are collectively going in the right direction, that the deep medicine of yoga can infuse your life. I'll offer you a breath practice to ease you into this rest, and if it is supportive, that's great, and if not, just take this rest in the way that feels best and works best for your heart, your brain, and your body where they are now. So all together, we can take an inhale through the nose and let a sigh come out through the mouth. And we're going to count the inhale 3 counts in and count the exhale 3 counts out. And we'll let this breath happen through the nose now. The rest of this practice, just breathing in and out through the nose. Let's inhale again for 3 counts. And this time lengthening the exhale to 4 counts. Inhale is still at 3 counts. Exhale is now at 4 counts. And this time we're going to lengthen the inhale to match the exhale. So breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Breathing in for 4. Now lengthening the exhale, breathing out for 5. Inhale holds at 4. Exhaling out for 5. Now we're going to match inhale to 5 counts. Exhaling 5 counts. One more inhale to 5 counts. Lengthening the exhale to 6 counts. Inhales still at 5 counts. Exhaling 6 counts. Now we're going to match. Inhale to 6 counts. Exhale to 6 counts. Same thing, inhale 6 counts. Exhale, lengthening to 7 counts. Inhale for 6. Exhale for 7. Inhaling 7 counts. Exhaling 7 counts. Shoulder blades sinking. One last round, inhaling 7 counts. Lengthening the exhale to 8 counts. Hold inhale steady at 7 counts. And exhale for 8. Now the breath is even and smooth. Inhaling for 8 counts. And exhaling for 8 counts. And 2 more cycles of counted breath. Inhale and exhale, 8 counts. And when you reach the bottom of that last exhale, let the breath flow, nothing to keep track of. Nothing at all here you need to do. But let there be spaces in your togetherness. Spaces between the breaths, spaces between your thoughts. Spaces between the landscape of the body and the surface underneath you. And let the breath now be like a moving sea between the shores of your souls. So recalling the sense that you are practicing in a community. That your willingness, your attention, your kindness might spill outward toward those who are sharing this space, this practice. Giving your body, your brain, and your heart time to actively acknowledge that others' practices of willingness, kindness, tenderness might be spilling outward toward you. You could begin exploration into movement, however feels right for you for now. And as you're making your way back toward movement, maybe slowly back toward your upright seat, we get to notice together what is held in place by our thought structures, the conditioned habits of our mind, and what it feels like when those thought structures become a little more porous, when there's a little bit more space around them, when we are less deeply attached to or averse to those structures maintaining their same shape and their same presence in our lives. And I'm so glad we all have each other here on the path and in the practice to check that out. So let's bring hands together at hearts if your hands are free. We'll take an inhale through the nose. Sigh out of your mouth. Rest into this space you created. You co-created with your breath, with your heart, with your community. A space where we can rest in Shraddha, knowing that you are moving in the right direction, that the deep medicine of yoga can infuse your life, and with gratitude for the ways in which you are already showing up for yourself and for each other. Thank you all so much for being here.